This is XDefiant, Ubisoft's take on a Call of Duty style shooter. But with the amount of games out right now, is it really worth your time? Especially one from a company that is super well known for their respectable business practices. That's what I've decided to dedicate my time to, helping you decide if this game is worth yours. Because if I'm going to waste my time, the least I could do is help you save yours. By far the biggest thing XDefiant has going for it is that it's a free-to-play game. So even if the game's bad, or the devs decide to take the game in a direction you don't agree with, you won't be losing money, which is always a plus. But the game being free to play does mean the usual free to play caveats, meaning a cosmetic shop and a battle pass. So if that style of monetization in your games usually bothers you, this isn't the game for you. But if you're fine with everything I've said so far, let me go into some of the pros of this game. First off, if you enjoy the feel of Call of Duty, specifically the Treyarch games, you'll like how this game plays. It almost feels like an older Black Ops game brought to the modern day. The map design honestly feels spectacular. I know the feeling of maps usually comes down to personal preference, but in this game it's hard not to like them. Each map felt unique and seemed to have a perfect balance of simplicity and complexity to their design, making them relatively easy to learn, but never really repetitive or boring to play. Weapons and classes are relatively simple to unlock. There are no absurd and oddly specific challenges to complete. No, get a kill while blindfolded and standing on one leg. Most of the challenges boil down to use the weapon or the class and you'll eventually unlock what you need. The class/ability system seems really well designed. The 5 classes having 2 abilities each keeps the game simple enough where it's not overcomplicated by the variety of abilities, but still allows players flexibility in how they want to play. But this video isn't sponsored by Ubisoft or XDefiant, so it can't all be good. And more importantly, you have to know the cons, so you can really judge if this game is worth your time. The hit registration in XDefiant is iffy at best. There will be moments where you get shot around corners, or where you shoot somebody and the bullets just don't register. And in an FPS game, that is never fun to deal with. The amount of screen shake can be too much for some people. It didn't affect me personally, but I had friends who just couldn't play the game because of that fact. So if that's something that would usually affect you, keep that in mind. The movement at times can feel clunky. The mantling specifically. There are moments where it works seamlessly, but I would say about 50% of the time, it just does not want to cooperate, which is honestly worse than it not working at all, because it gives you hope just to crush it. And finally, the biggest con for XDefiant is that there is no real guarantee that this game doesn't die in a month, as we've seen it happen to games over and over again with the free-to-play model. The most recent example being the finals. So if you decide to invest your time in this game, there's no promise it'll stick around. With that, hopefully this helps you decide if XDefiant is worth your time. Because for some strange reason, when it comes to games, people only really think about the monetary price, when they really should just stop and consider if that game is really worth their time.